Hi everybody, this is Harper Papke. I'm going to be doing a video presentation on my journal article review paper. This paper looks at executive functions, personality, and intelligence in children. The article I researched was the relations between personality components of executive functions and intelligence in children and young adults by Verena Johan and Julia Karbach. This research talks a lot about previous research that has been done about executive functions, personality, and intelligence. They look a lot at these relationships in adults because really there has only been research done about these three things in adults. So we are looking to expand our knowledge and tap into these, the executive function, intelligence, and personality, and how these relate in children. Some of the executive functions that are mentioned, or the three main ones used, are updating or working memory, WM, inhibition, and cognitive flexibility. Similarly with this, executive functions will likely be referred to as EF in the future. We also study again with personality and intelligence. The method used in this research was done in two experiments, the first being a group of 155 participants with an average age of 9.5, the second being 91 participants with an average age of 23.5. These two groups had three different tests testing their executive functions. You can see inhibition, flexibility, and working motor underneath in their specific test. The participants also took a personality test, and then the personality test and personality traits you can see are listed next to underneath the correct experiment. The participants do these studies, and then the researchers are going to pull what they can from this information. The results we find that we find a lot of varying different results in this research. A lot of this is seen in the previous research done, but some of these consist of negative relationships between neuroticism and intelligence. Imagination and consciousness showed no relation to intelligence, no relation between openness and intelligence, both a positive and negative relationship, a significantly more positive relationship, but a slightly negative relationship between conscientiousness and intelligence, negative relation between conscientiousness and switching cost, and that working motor and intelligence had significant associations in both experiments. These results came with a lot of additional side results or showing a slight indication of a relationship, but these were the main ones we were able to pull away from the research. In my discussion, I look at a lot of different things analyzing this paper, the first being publication date. I think this is something interesting to note. It was published in December of 2021. We don't exactly know when the experiments took place, but if they did happen to take place during the COVID-19 pandemic, there might be some negative implications on the studies done with the children because the test-taking situation can be stressful on top of the additional cultural stresses of the pandemic. In experiment 2, there's a significant lack of educational diversity. Of the 91 participants in experiment 2, more than 95% of them were enrolled in college. This is something to consider because if you're looking at intelligence, making sure that you have educational diversity is extremely important. Next, we see the personality test. The personality test done with children. The children took the test themselves. In other previous research, we have seen that the parents reported on the child's personality, which can be a little bit more of a full answer and conclusion to their personality because children are a little bit uneasy or unaware of what their personality might completely be like. Again, with assessing children's personality, we see that this is a very complex and diverse topic, understanding a child's personality, and having done only the personality test was a real weakness in this article, and that's just kind of why I put it twice, because the personality test itself could have been more significant, but also assessing the children's personality could have been a more thoughtful, more diligent process considering the complexity that comes with asking children about their personality. Lastly, I would like to discuss some model clarification. This research uses the Big Five personality model. I think that some explanation of why this was chosen would be beneficial to readers. I think that it is something that would provide a lot of clarification as to why we are looking at these specific EF factors or this specific personality traits, and why we aren't including other ones, if that makes sense. Um, and final, I thought this article was very intriguing, and I think that we could always do some more research in regards to children and their behaviors and personality. Thank you so much for listening. This is the end of my journal article review video presentation.